As Jack sings us into this video, guys.
I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
Oh, God. Are you done?
Time is now. You can't see me. Time is now. It's the franchise all shining now. You can't see me. My time is now.
5 more appearances for John Cena, and one of those appearances is coming up this weekend at WWE's Crown Jewel Live from Perth, Western Australia. That's it, guys. If you were over in the Western Hemisphere, in Canada, the US, make sure you set your clocks early. Jack, it is a 4 a.m. start. If you want the pre-show, it is a 3 a.m. start for you, and it is actually, no, it's a 2 a.m. start for you, and is a 5 a.m. pre-show start for me over here in Toronto. Jack, let's get into our predictions for this entire show.
My first prediction is I am not waking up at 2 a.m. to watch Joe Tessitore and Big E Langston on the pregame panel.
Hey, don't forget about Jackie.
Prediction of the night, but it's going to be an early wake-up call. I will be up at 5 a.m. because I do want to see this card.
So do I.
John Cena versus AJ Styles one final time, Steve. I think we're just going to get a 5-star classic between these two. There's no real babyface versus heel story. It's babyface versus babyface. AJ's got his stuff with the Americanos on Monday Night Raw. John Cena's just on his final tour, his final hoorah before he trots off into the sunset. We're just going to get an instant classic between two all-time great rivals. We're getting Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion, versus the World Heavyweight champion, Seth freaking Rollins, one-on-one once again for the first time in 3.5 years. The big storyline, obviously, can Seth Rollins win the big one against Cody Rhodes? Because if not, I guess everybody's going to leave him. Paul Heyman's going to reconsider why he chose him over Roman Reigns. Braun Breaker's going to leave him. Bronson Reed's going to leave him. It's going to be a whole thing. Bronson Reed's got an Australian street fight with Roman Reigns, the OTC. Put the ones to the sky right now, Steve.
That's basically Bloodline rules.
Acknowledge him.
You know I acknowledge my tribal chief.
It is an Australian street fight, which means the Usos are getting involved, which means Braun Breakers are getting involved, which means we're probably going to see a massive angle play out with Little Roman, as Punk called him on Raw, Jey Uso.
Yep.
And then we got Tiffany Stratton taking on Stephanie Valkyr, the WWE Women's Champion versus the World Women's Champion. A lot's going on. Did I miss anything? The final one you missed, which I think will be kicking off the night, is going to be Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and the Kabuki Warriors. You got to kick off with Rhea Ripley's music hitting down under, because listen, we just know that pop is gonna rival Roman's pop probably, and John Cena's pop that night when Rhea Ripley comes out. So we've got this crazy tag match with Asuka and Kairi, Io and Rhea, which I think has been a hilarious but very well played out story over the last couple of weeks between these 4 women, and I don't even think it culminates here. I actually think this is just going to build us into how War Games is going to start in San Diego, with all 4 parties being on separate sides of the shark cages, and we're just going to add to that for Monday Night Raw. So let's dive into it, and let's start with that match. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors, just in a straight up tag match. Jack, like I said, this has been a great story overall. I'm just going to say straight up, can Rhea Ripley lose in Australia? I think she has to. Like, if they lose, or if they beat the Kabuki Warriors, like, what are you really setting up at War Games?
Yeah. It dies out.
Or you do the unthinkable, and that's Io Sky was in on it the whole time, and the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky just take down and beat down Rhea Ripley. Which also wouldn't be good for Rhea Ripley in Australia, but, like, why not pull that swerve?
You know, at the end of the day, they always say send them home happy or started off with a bang. And either way, because we've got so many main players on this. So Cody and Seth is going to finish the night. I guess with John and AJ, like, I don't even know how they're going to build this card out. John and AJ start the show, then Rhea, Io, then Roman, Braun.
I imagine Cody Seth's closing the show.
Cody Seth has to close the show. Like, the vignettes alone says they have to close the show. Like, these video packages that they've had over the last couple of weeks have been near Austin Rock level with how good the video packages have been, which that's a lot for me to throw out, because I still think the Austin Rock video packages are the best they've ever done. But overall, yeah, that has to close out the show. But overall, like, just to get to the prediction for Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors. Run it back. Try it one more time. Okay. Rhea and Io and the Kabuki Warriors. I'm going to have to say, like, honestly, I think it has to be Rhea. They can't have Rhea lose in Australia. But I think you're right. I think Asuka and Kairi are the ones that have to come out on top here.
I mean, they just did the turn that we've been waiting like months for, that we knew from the beginning was going to happen. They can't just lose. You got to build them up. And who better to build them up against than your two biggest baby faces in the women's division on Monday Night Raw, which is Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. So, yeah, you have them win. Then you build out their team for Survivor Series, and you build out the Rhea Ripley and Io Sky team for Survivor Series. To me, that's pretty cut and dry.
Well, there you go. Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton for the Crown Jewel Women's Championship. Yes, there is something on the line here. The pretty little ring and the belt that we only see once a year for Crown Jewel is on the line. Two of the biggest up-and-coming women in the women's division, arguably globally. I think Tiffany Stratton is going to be a major staple in WWE for the next decade. Stephanie Vaquer, probably the next decade. And they are going to rival some of the best women in the world when they either eventually come to WWE or the women that are in NXT, like the Blake Monroes of the world and the, the oh God, I can't even think of her name. The Lash Legend, the Jada Parkers, these women that are going to be up and comers on the main roster in the next 5 years. These are going to be your two, with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky there as well. So who do you got? Because I have not found this build to be exciting at all. I said in one of my previous videos, I hate contract signings. I've always hated contract signings. And last week's contract signing fell so flat that, like, it made me not want to care about this match, even though this match deserves a ton of respect.
I think if it wasn't Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins and the history that they've had with one another, that men's Crown Jewel Championship match wouldn't have a story. And the fact that, like, Seth Rollins keeps saying, like, I have to beat him. Like, there's a story there, right? Like, there's not necessarily a story at all here with Tiffany and Stephanie, other than the fact that they are the world champions and they have to face each other at Crown Jewel because those are the rules, apparently. But it's like your all-star pay-per-view of, like, your two biggest world champions get to be pit up once, against each other. But it doesn't necessarily have to have a story. And we saw it at WrestleMania, unfortunately. This might be a wild take on me because everybody loves Tiffany. She's great. She's 25 years old. She started training to be a pro wrestler 3 years ago, Steve, and she's already at the top of the mountain, which is insane to say. But, like, she's not quite there when it comes to telling a story with top stars yet.
Thank you.
We saw it at WrestleMania with Charlotte Flair. She's not there yet. Stephanie Vaquer, also very, very new. I mean, the Money in the Bank weekend was like the first weekend where we were like, wow, she's wrestled 3 times in one day, Like, it was like, oh, she's a workhorse. She's great. She's going to get a ton of opportunities. And they happen pretty quickly, whether that be because of injuries or I guess it's not an industry. It's a paternal leave, if you will, for Naomi. So now she gets a big opportunity. At some point, she's going to face Io Sky for that championship. At some point, she's going to face Rhea Ripley for that championship.
That's for sure.
This isn't a match that has to have some big payoff at all, but I do think, in my opinion, Steve, Stephanie Vaquer has to pin Tiffany Stratton.
Yep. Yeah, I
don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Tiffany Stratton really hasn't been pinned since she won the title last year.
Tiffany Stratton's undefeated this year.
So Tiffany Stratton, to me, though she's technically a babyface at the moment, has been giving me heel vibes since before SummerSlam and her feud with Jade Cargill. In the sense that she's like, I'm 250 days plus as the WWE Women's Champion. Like, nobody's gonna beat me. I'm the best. I'm the prettiest. I'm the greatest of all time. Like, she has that vibe to her, and we already know she's a great heel. We've seen it. She came into the industry as a heel. She's a Barbie doll who just thinks she's better and prettier and the most popular person in the world compared to everybody. She's that bully popular girl in high school, you know, that everybody hates but wants to be. That's what Tiffany Stratton is. So this is the perfect opportunity to have Stephanie Valkyr, who's kind of like that, you know, almost like AJ Lee, kind of like that, you know, Sketcher wearing, Chuck Taylor wearing, you know, cool kid who really doesn't give a crap what anybody thinks about her, and she's going to come in and take down the most popular girl in school, and the most popular girl in school is going to have a big problem with it, and it's going to affect her psyche, and then she's going to officially turn heel heading into WrestleMania season.
Yeah, I look at Tiffany Stratton, and what was the saying back in the day? I can't even remember which female wrestler it was, but it was all the girls want to be me and all the guys want to be with me. Sable used to say that, and that's what Tiffany Stratton is. That the high school bully that all the guys were in love with and all the girls wanted to be. You know, she was that person, and I think. Actually, Tiffany Stratton has been giving me heel vibes coming out of WrestleMania because of how she dealt with that situation with Charlotte. Like, I think, especially when you go back and watch Unreal, I think Tiffany was the instigator there in that entire drama fest. Granted, Charlotte did not help that situation whatsoever, but I felt Tiffany was, you know, the rookie coming out of that and the one who was made to look like the bad guy, and that has carried throughout the year. And Stephanie Valkyr has slowly just been biding her time, taking the opportunities when they come. And yes, there have been some setbacks, obviously, with the Naomi situation, with her getting pregnant and having to take away from certain opportunities that Stephanie was getting through that feud. You know, Stephanie has taken the slow road over the year, but she has come to Night of Champions, and I think it has to be like, I think Tiffany needs to be knocked down a few pegs, and it's going to be like she's going to lose to Stephanie, and then probably it's going to roller coaster and tumble like snowball all the way to Survivor Series, where she's probably going to lose to Jade Cargill. And Tiffany Stratton's going to end the year with nothing, and we're going to go into the 2026 starting with Jade Cargill as your women's WWE champion. So I'm going with you on this. I got Stephanie Valkyr coming out on top as the 2025 women's crown jewel champion.
I just think she's the brand new world champion on Monday Night Raw. Tiffany hasn't been pinned in almost a year. This is the person that you have Tiffany get pinned with, is Stephanie Valkyr. She's it's literally QB1 and QB2 in your women's division right now. You know, when it comes to champions, obviously Rhea Ripley still kind of like runs that whole yard, and Io Sky's right up there too. Jade Cargill's on her way. I'll disagree with you in the sense that I think Tiffany's not going to drop the title anytime soon. I think she loses this one, and it escalates to her going full-blown heel and just being a tyrant champion all the way to WrestleMania 42, and that's where she drops the title.
Fair enough.
And I don't know who that would be against. Whoever wins the Royal Rumble, presumably.
Probably.
But
returning Liv Morgan.
I think Tiffany, we haven't seen the best of her title run yet. I think it's been a very lackluster summer for her as champion, only because she does seem like she's giving tweener vibes, and we really haven't been able to dive into this whole Jade Cargill feud that could turn a whole new leaf if they turn her heel.
Fair enough. Roman Reigns versus the Auszilla, Big Bronson Reed. We saw this a few months ago, but this time it's an Australian street fight in Australia, and there is a few major dynamics involved in this match. Obviously, we have Paul Heyman, we have Braun Breaker, who was mysteriously absent on Monday Night Raw. We have the Usos. Yeah, we have the Usos. We have LA Knight. We have CM Punk. All these guys that are involved somehow with Big Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns. And like I said, Australian street fight, anytime they say street fight, it's Bloodline rules at this point. And I genuinely think this is going to be the biggest shock factor of Crown Jewel. If Cody beats Seth, that could top it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Roman Reigns loses to Bronson Reed. I'm saying that right now. Roman Reigns loses to Bronson Reed, and it's because of Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Hands down. There has been too many. Go ahead.
I think he beats Roman Reigns because of Jey Uso, but it's going to be like an accidental thing where Jey just gets in the way.
There is one thing I'm thinking right now, as I've said that. Roman has been that guy to kind of push Jey. So could we switch this up and say Jimmy is the one that inadvertently gives Roman the super kick? And Jimmy and Jey argue it out and Bronson Reed takes advantage? And then Jey then turns on Jimmy for taking out Roman, who's been, the devil on his shoulder over the last couple of weeks, because that's really what Roman's been. Everyone can say, oh, Roman Reigns has been, the tribal chief, the OTC one. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but Roman's a full-blown heel right now. And we're still throwing the ones up cheering for him. He's a full-blown heel.
I think anybody would say this. Roman Reigns' character has not changed since before WrestleMania 40. He's still the same character.
Depends who he is with.
He came back. We cheered him because he was taking on the heel Solo Sikoa. He was taking on, Seth Rollins and CM Punk just in a mega match. Him and Paul Heyman for that brief period of time before Heyman turned were baby faces in the sense that people were just happy to see Roman back. He teamed up with Cody Rhodes for the common enemy of Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu at Bad Blood last year.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, he's not a face, he's not a heel, he's not a good guy, he's not a bad guy, he's the guy.
He's the guy,
He's Roman. The character has not changed. Fans' perception of him has changed a little bit because we missed him for the 5 months that he was gone after WrestleMania 40. He's still the same character.
Of course. But what I'm saying is it always depends on who he's put up against, on which side of the fence Roman is balancing on. And I think fans really need to look at, he's literally taking your biggest baby face on Raw and turning him heel in front of you. He's he's doing what Karrion Kross was doing to Sami Zayn and AJ Styles. It's the same thing. It's just being executed. Jay's actually starting to listen, and Jimmy's like that, the angel on the other side being like, you don't need to do this. You don't need to be little Roman. You know what I mean? So right now with Jimmy Uso with Jey Uso, Roman is a full blown heel. He is literally the devil on his shoulders saying, you need to be, OTC too, I guess, and really take your opportunities as they come. So this is going to be, and back to the match, this is going to be that defining moment for Jey Uso. And he's not even in the match. This match is about Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns, but this is going to be Jay's defining moment.
Do you think all of those guys are getting involved? I think the Usos 100% are getting involved. Do you think LA Knight and CM Punk get involved?
Absolutely.
Because it's at that point, why would they need to get involved? Why would CM Punk come out for that match in any way, shape, or form? Why would LA Knight want to help Roman Reigns? I mean, maybe not help Roman Reigns, but if Bronson and Braun are out there, I could see it being a thing. I don't think CM Punk necessarily has a personal vendetta against the Brauns right now. It's more so against Seth and winning back his World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could make a case for LA Knight because he's got this beef with Jey Uso. I don't know. I do think Jey Uso is going to be a defining factor in that match.
Why fly Punk?
How all of them get involved.
Why fly Punk and why fly LA Knight 22 hours around the world to just do media? It makes no sense. They have to be involved somehow.
Are they out there? Do we know that they're being flown out there?
I know Punk is, for sure. Seen it on his socials. Not too sure about LA Knight, but I know Punk is.
Punk could be there to screw Rollins, and then maybe they actually pull the plug on this whole Seth Rollins leading division thing.
Maybe. But either way.
About that?
Maybe. All right, so you're going Bronson Reed?
I'm going Bronson Reed with unintentional help from the Usos.
I'm just going Bronson Reed straight up in a defining moment for Jey Uso, and probably the full-blown Jey Uso heel turn. John Cena, AJ Styles. We've seen it 2015 a couple of times. We saw it in 2016. This is just a match to have a match, and I love that they have just done it that way. They haven't even really need to make reference to it, except for social media and 2 very half-hearted promos by AJ Styles and absolutely nothing from John Cena. I'm excited for this match because I'm a major fan of AJ Styles. And like I mentioned to you last time, I'm happy this countdown is getting close, that we can finally say like farewell in the nicest way to John Cena. But this is arguably the match I'm looking forward to the most so far over this entire year is AJ Styles versus John Cena.
This is just going to be a straight up 5-star classic between 2 legends that never disappoint when they're in the ring with one another. It's been almost 8 years since they've had a one-on-one match. There's no story. AJ Styles has his beef, with El Grande Americano and the Americanos on Raw. John Cena's just on his final 5 matches in his entire career. This is just going to be a clinic, a masterpiece that I hope does not get interfered by Brock Lesnar. That's the only thing that I think that like they're almost telling us that like this is just going to be a pure wrestling match between 2 Hall of Famers that are both retiring within the next 8 to 12 months.
Yeah,
I really hope they don't spoil it by like Brock Lesnar F5ing the both of them and like just suplexing the both of them until they can't stand up. I really hope they don't do something stupid like that, because this is just an opportunity to give Perth, Australia an awesome wrestling match that, in my opinion, if it is just an awesome wrestling match, John Cena beats AJ Styles.
Yes.
I think that's how you do. John Cena gets his 100th premium live event victory in his entire WWE career against AJ Styles. The only way that this match isn't just a pure wrestling match is if they pull something like that to where they set up John Cena's next match at Raw or at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I'm on board with you. I want this to be a pure wrestling match. I want this to go 13, 17 minutes of just back and forth, a couple of callbacks, just, crazy. Even a couple of TNA references would be really cool by AJ Styles and John Cena. I would really like to see
get Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to make an appearance.
We did hear about that on social media not too long ago about the Good Brothers being close by with AJ Styles. So that would be interesting. But overall, I'm going John Cena as well. But I would love to see this just to be pure. And then we go into Monday Night Raw talking about, a tournament. Or we've heard rumors of a tournament. We've heard rumors of, who the potential last would be. And we can do a video on that later. But I would just love this to be a pure send-off in Perth for this feud. And we just move forward into the last 4 appearances. So I think we're both on par so far with who we've got winning across the board. And the final match of the night, Seth freaking Rollins versus the QB1 Cody Rhodes for the men's Crown Jewel Championship. And it is Cody defending his Crown Jewel Championship from last year, because Cody was the inaugural with Liv Morgan. And I'm looking at this match. If this match wasn't on the card and this match wasn't the story it is, Roman and Bronson would close this out. But because it's this story, it's these two, obviously both being champions as well, I think this story needs to either culminate here or escalate here, and I think it's going to be the first one in Seth Rollins taking this. You cannot have what we got at WrestleMania and only have it run 5.5 months, 5.5 months. You can't, what is it? When was WrestleMania? April, my apologies. So 6.5, 7 months. You can't have that story culminate to Paul Heyman leaving the Vision and, having Bronson and Braun leave the Vision or leave Seth Rollins out of the Vision because he lost to Cody Rhodes for a 4th time or a 23rd time, depends which way you're counting. Depending on how this match plays out, it basically leads us right into Survivor Series and right into WrestleMania. But I'm saying I don't think there's a way that Seth Rollins loses. And I'm going to throw this out there. I think this is where we get a 4th member because Seth still can't beat Cody by himself.
I'd be intrigued to see if this is where we get a 4th member, because whoever that 4th member is, that solidifies 5 guys, in my opinion, for the War Games match, with the Vision, potentially a 4th Vision member, and potentially Paul Heyman's Beast. Mm-hmm. Cody Rhodes can't win this match. There's just no scenario where he should win this match. Cody Rhodes has beaten Seth Rollins, if you're counting correctly, 22 times in his career. Mm-hmm. Seth Rollins can't lose Paul Heyman. He can't lose Braun Breaker. He can't lose Bronson Reed. Seth Rollins has to win this match, whether it be help from a 4th member. We don't know who that is. Maybe it's a Logan Paul. Maybe it's someone that's completely off our radar in NXT.
Tony D.
Maybe Brock Lesnar's music hits and he's the one to screw Cody Rhodes, because Cody Rhodes has been mentioning Brock Lesnar quite a bit on WWE TV since the past couple of weeks. He questioned Paul Heyman about it. He questioned Seth Rollins about it. So we know Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes are probably gearing up for some sort of an angle with each other heading into Survivor Series, whether that be a War Games match or a one-on-one match. I still don't really know.
I think that goes to Saudi.
Is a total crapshoot right now, considering all the different moving parts with the Vision. To me, the Vision have made enemies with Cody Rhodes. They've made enemies with Randy Orton on SmackDown. But also, the Usos have issues with him. Mm-hmm. CM Punk's got issues with Seth Rollins. LA Knight's got issues with Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns has issues with Seth Rollins. Yeah. To me, it's like I left watching Monday Night Raw thinking to myself, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, the Usos, LA Knight. That's 5 guys right there to take on the Vision.
Yeah.
Versus my original thought of it being maybe Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, since they were teaming on SmackDown together and Randy got curb stomped by Seth Rollins. Then you got Roman, Punk, and John Cena in his final ever appearance at Survivor Series, his first ever War Games match. There's your all-star team. But now I don't really know. Maybe Randy Orton turns and joins the Vision at Crown Jewel. And then you get to finally tell that story of Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. I know Seth Rollins is going to win this match. There's no doubt about it at all. It's obvious that Seth Rollins is winning this match. I just don't know who's going to screw over Cody Rhodes.
I'm still sleeping on Tony D'Angelo. I think there is that conversation a few weeks or a few months ago now of, Tony D sitting at the table, trying to figure out what his next steps are. And it's like, yeah, I'll have a conversation with you. We still don't know who the voice was. We still don't know who that was. And it's been left up in the air. I would be mind blown if it was Tony D'Angelo. I would think it would be incredible because he fits. He's an up and comer. He's got a good look. So we'll see. But I think you and I went 5 for 5 with our predictions for Crown Jewel. So overall, I think this show is going to be an absolute. I'm more excited for this event in Perth than I was for Elimination Chamber last year. I think this one is actually going to be very exciting. Guys, let us know your predictions down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the newsletter. Descriptions down there. Follow us on everything. Jack's the bad guy. I don't know what the hell I am anymore. But anyways, like always, guys, be good people.